Good morning. It's October 8th, 2024. We're critiquing the news. The article on your screen is from the Cairns Post and it's titled ABC Has to Alter Lebanon Story. Apparently, the ABC's complaints department received just 16 complaints about an article and relating to Lebanon and the situation in the Middle East, which almost no Westerner who hasn't lived in both countries for a lengthy period even has the vaguest understanding of. In fact, it's very risky to take a position one side or another in this particular conflict because you risk being exposed for your ignorance down the track, which is why I don't. Now, the ABC has a very professional complaint-repelling unit. I know I used to try and take advantage of their complaint system, and it's just about useless. There's no positive outcome unless it fits the political agenda, which in this case it seems to do. Now, let's just consider the background of the ABC. Back in 1928, at the dawn of mass communication by radio, it took the resources of government to establish the necessary infrastructure. The first iteration of the ABC was the Australian Broadcasting Company, a private company which was contracted by the government to roll out these services. It was later nationalised by the government to become the Australian Broadcasting Commission. In 1983, under the Hawke Labor branch of the Labor Liberal Uni Party, it became the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, and since then it has defied its charter to be editorially independent and politically unbiased. It has fallen to O'Sullivan's first law, whereby any organisation that is not expressly maintained as conservative will be captured by the left over time. The first leftist to get to a position of hiring and firing will fire only conservatives and hire only leftists until you wind up with an organisation such as today's ABC, where everyone who is employed by it is of the far left or the extreme left. So the ABC is now a far-left, taxpayer-funded broadcaster. We haven't needed a taxpayer-funded media outlet since the privately owned radio stations emerged in the 1920s and privately owned TV stations emerged in the 1950s. But the ABC persisted due to it being convenient to the ruling Uni Party to have a tame media megaphone. Since the internet was rolled out in Australia over 20 years ago, Aussies have had a super abundance of media outlets to choose from, some of which actually offer the conservative perspectives that are anathema to the ABC and the Uni Party. There is now simply no reason for conservative taxpayers to be funding a vast media complex that works tirelessly to undermine the principles that allow the productive free enterprise capitalist economy to generate the wealth that results in taxes that are then fed to the ABC. The ABC is now a direct danger to the ongoing comfortable lifestyles of the majority of the Australian population and is a real threat to our future prosperity. If the Uni Party was representing the will of the Australian people, it would have phased out the ABC decades ago. $1 billion a year could buy us a lot of new hospitals. But it's not representing your will. The Uni Party is implementing the agenda of the unelected foreign globalist billionaires, and that requires a massive taxpayer-funded megaphone. A known consequence of the ABC's media market domination is that it prevents corporate media, such as News Corp, from gaining enough media share to be profitable and thereby properly able to respond to customer inputs which might correct its own left-wing bias. The average Aussie can never know the objective truth of any subject via the mainstream media, while the Uni Party props up their ABC with your money, which is an excellent reason to get rid of the Uni Party.